Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Techie Zone, and I have published a couple of playlists or series Kubernetes, Google networking. But now I am going to start a new series like cloud interview tricks and tips and tricks. So here we'll talk about the interviews going on these days and what are the common things asking in the interviews in the Google platform. If I am talking about the Google interview, so the very first thing is asking in the Google interview that in what services you worked, and or is a question like tell me about your uh, experience and the technologies you work, also the Google services you are working on. So for that, guys, I want to tell you that in the Google, if you are this kind of question, so always remember that you have to tell about the services you worked, like IAM service. In IAM you can mention the IAP also, is a IAM. Authentication is a organization services, is a organization policies. Service account is a all covers in the IAM section. So roles and responsibility, identity aware proxy is the IAP. So first thing you can say that if you have worked on IAM, you can say I have experience on the IAM, managing the billing account, compute engines, um, cloud storage, networking. In networking, there are two things: uh, peered network or shared network. So always while you are telling about the network or the BPC network services you worked, mentioned that how to create the BPC subnet also is a BPC peering and the BPC sharing. So these is the things you need to tell about the services you worked or you used in the uh, mm, uh, past organization or the current organization. As per as is a Kubernetes service, if you worked on that, you can mention that I worked on the Kubernetes services like creating the pods, containers, and multi-container pods, how the Kubernetes works. Then the next question he can ask is how Kubernetes works and what are the main services in the Kubernetes. So always remember that Google has provided two kind of cluster services like pay per pod or pay per node. So in the paper node, you have complete access on the node. You can create pods inside the node, and you can create containers in the pod. But if you are choosing the autopilot mod, is a pay per node license is there, means you only can create the pods, and inside the pod you can create the containers. Apart from this, that the main services in the uh, Kubernetes engine is there are two things, is a master and the node. So Google always allows you to create the multiple nodes and manage them. The master part will managed by Google only. So in master there are API service, is a etcd, uh, scheduler, and the container manager. So there are four services in the master part, and in the node is a kubelet, runtime, and the kube proxy. These are the three services running in the node section. So now come in the networking services. In networking services, you need to tell that you worked on the load balancer, and if you worked on the cloud DNS or CDN or CloudNet, you can mention that. Apart from that, in the networking is a one more thing is there, uh, that you should knowledge about the interconnect or the BPN. So one by one, you will take your time and describe the in a s- little bit description. With the little bit description, you need to put the all services one by one to the interviewer, so that it will take your time. If a interview is scheduled for 30 minutes, first 5 to 10 minutes you have time to elaborate your services and the you work, and the little bit elaboration of the service you work. And then is the next thing, like if you mentioned that you have knowledge on the Kubernetes, you have knowledge on the networking. So very first he will ask you that the what is network peering or what is network sharing, like is a shared network or peer network. In peer network, we use the import export of the routings. So once we share the both BPCs, so it will share their routes as well as create the peering routes in the both side. So yeah, one more thing is that if you are going to create a shared network or shared BPC, in that case we need to configure it on the both side, in the both BPC, like is a BPC1 or BPC2. Then I need to configure it in a BPC1 and BPC2. Once the configuration will done, then only it will show the green sign that is configured successfully. And in the uh, uh, is about the peering I told you. But now if I'm going to create a network sharing, is a share means I will create a network in a one BPC or one project, and then I will share it with the multiple projects. So BPC and subnet that will be created in the host project only, and from the host project I will share the BPC and uh, subnet to other projects. So in that project, if we will create the uh, resources, it will use the BPC which is created in the host project. So these kind of things called host and service network. And next question, it could be like that, if I'm going to the IAM or that thing is a what is IAP and what is the use of identity aware proxy. So always in the environment while you working for a client, so we never use the public IP on the resources like VM or mm, uh, any services will not use the public IP. So if the public IP is not exist over there, how can we access? So we should have VPN access. So either VPN access is there. If the VPN access is not there, we also can use that resources using the IAP. IAP will create a tunnel on a specific IP range, is a CIDR range, and using that CIDR range tunnel, we can access the resources from the internet or from outside world. So this is the use of IAP. So keep watching my video, and please subscribe and put your queries on the comment box, uh, so that I can improve myself. I can give you the more and more tips about the uh, interview things, and I will put the interview questions in the description box so that you can see the questions, so get the questions from the description box. So please keep watching and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.